This is a picture of Rodrigo Melinao Lican, who was assassinated by agents of the state of Chile here in the Wallmapu. Mapuche means the land of the Mapuche nation, because he was a defender of the rights of the Mapuche people, their territory rights. They were fighting the logging companies. They're fighting against the expropriation and exploitation of the natural resources of the Mapuche nation here in the southern part of the great continent of the great turtle island of Abya Yala. This message is coming to you from Temuco, Wallmapu. Wallmapu is the name of the land of the original nations of this part of the continent. And we're here in a gathering that has been convened to discuss the issue of genocide and the complicity of the crime of genocide, and that atrocity and violation of the rights of humanity. It's called a lesion against humanity, because it destroys the spirit of humanity that we are obligated and mandated to share and coexist with as original nations of this continent, the Abya Yala, the Great Turtle Island, and all of the continents of Mother Earth. With that responsibility, the Continental Commission of Abya Yala was invited to attend a series of conversations and events that are now heading into conclusion today, because it has come to pass and it has not come to pass. What has come to pass is that there was a message, a communication that was discussed and elaborated by the Mapuche nation representatives gathering in the ceremonial site, Cerro de Nyol, yesterday. And that declaration, that statement was constituted, was articulated, was transcribed to be presented in person, face to face, with the representative of the state of the Vatican, who also is Pope Francis, the head of the Holy Roman Catholic Church, as it is called, who came through this country, the Mapuche country, just a few hours ago. Among the activities that he conducted in his visit here in this part of the world, this part of the country, he refused the delegations of the congregation of the Vatican, refused to accept the document that the Mapuche nation had convened a continental international gathering to coalesce the points to be communicated with the Vatican in the process of moving forward as relatives in good standing, in good relations to the future generations along that path to correct the atrocities of genocide and colonization that have been occurring in this continent since October the 12th, 1492, and normalized by the doctrine of discovery of Pope Alexander VI, 1493, and the papal bulls that he emitted on May 3rd and the 4th, Inter Caetera, 1493. That may sound exotic to you, but in reality, the U.S. Supreme Court case Johnson vs. McIntosh takes all of those concepts, and any U.S. attorney who's going to practice law within the bounds of the U.S. and have a license to do so, when they go to the school of the law and they're taught property law, the concepts of property within the context of the U.S. law, the U.S. Constitution, the first case that they must study is the Johnson vs. McIntosh decision, and the corollaries of them that come from the concept of domestic dependent nationhood and plenary power. What we have said along, those conceptions of plenary power, domestic dependent nationhood, and the doctrine of discovery itself will deliver the fatal death wound conceptually, and in our memory and our dreams it goes on at the fight of Standing Rock. now coming into the second year. But we know that that fight there, which was a treaty fight, the Mapuches, this is their flag, the Mapuche nation. They also have treaties. They also have a treaty fight. Their fight is based in great degree on the treaties that they have with the King of Spain, not the King of England. And also with the Chilean state, not the United States of America, settler state government. It's another settler state government. No más que por este lado, ellos hablan español. They speak Castilian down here, not Anglo-English. But it's the same conception, the same genocide, and the same colonization. Therefore, the gathering that was convened here over the last 3 days to be concluding by tomorrow, the purpose was to converse, analyze, discuss, and strategize about how would be the best way to move forward with the strength of our ancestry, rooted in our original knowledge systems and memory. And taking that into account, to make available to the generations of today's day and time the opportunity for an emergence of our consciousness as surviving nations of the indigenous peoples of this continent, the Great Turtle Island, Abya Yala. And that took place. The document was elaborated, articulated, and prepared to be presented in person, as we say, within the last few hours to the representative of the Vatican State, Pope Francis, and he denied responsibility, respect, and dignity. The simple question being, he got here to this part of the world with some kind of permission, some kind of visa, some kind of passport. But the simple question is, this is Mapuche country. The simple question is, did he ask for permission from the Mapuche nation to come into their territory? How did he get his permission? Who gave it to them? And if he got his permission from the government of Chile, they're the ones who killed Rodrigo. 2 years ago is the anniversary. There's cases still being, it's like the Red Fawn case. It's like that, the same. Except in this case, they actually killed him right there. One is defending the forest of the Mapuche from his community, just like you're standing now. This is not justice, and this is not law. This is not a legal system. This is a legaloid system. Like you say, android, it looks like a human type, but no, it looks, and they would like you to believe that there's a law legal, but it's a legaloid system. It looks like, but it's lacking ethics. It's lacking justice. It's lacking morality. That's not a legal system. It's colonization. Colonization is illegal. Genocide is also illegal. The accusation of the complicity of the Holy Roman Catholic Church, now at this time institutionalized with the papacy of Pope Francis, the complicity of that church, that particular institution, in the crime of genocide here in the country of Wallmapu was presented the evidences yesterday to document the process of moving forward to deal with that issue in the sense of justice, international. Genocide is an international crime. Crime against international law, crime against humanityism. But as we report here now, the Vatican denied that opportunity to the Mapuche. They said, we'll give you 2 minutes. In those 2 minutes, we don't want to see no documents, we don't want to see no statements. We'll just shake your hand, and then the caravan is going to go on from 1492 to 2017, 18, etc. We're talking the Pope of the Gregory calendar, this one now. But we have our own date. We have our own time. We know who we are, where we are. We also know when we are here now. So therefore, we say to you, relatives in the north, this message is going to you, the Confederation of the Eagle. We're here in the territory of the Confederation of the Condor. Prepare yourself again now, once again. the treaty study done by Martinez, finalized in 1999 by the United Nations. Prepare yourself. We have requested to the United Nations all of that content. The Treaty 1868 was a big part of that. All of that content was finalized in 1999 in the treaty. We want that back. We want those original materials that were lent to you, United Nations, so you could do that treaty study. And the other thing we want that treaty study updated, because it was finalized in 1999. That means that the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, which established indigenous peoples are equal to all other peoples, meaning that we have right of self-determination equal to all other peoples, meaning our treaties are equal to all of that has to be brought up to date in the shape of an updated treaty study. So we will have at least the semblance of an opportunity to move forward in collective actions to address the issues of colonization and genocide that have been normalized by the doctrine of discovery of Christendom, whose theology was promulgated by the papal bulls of Pope Alexander VI in 1493, and today here on January the 18th of 2018, the 17th, the 18th, Pope Francis himself has allowed yet another veneer, another facade of justification for the continuation of those practices and policies, genocide, colonization, that have been normalized and even sanctified by the practices of the Catholic Church. In particular, in this part of the country, Wallmapu is called, the land of the Mapuche. This is in Chile. It's not Argentina either. Just like up there in the La Jora, that's La Jora country. It doesn't belong to the government of the United States. It's not under their domain. Although they would want you to have you believe that they were going to put Red Fawn in jail because they want you to think they're going to try to believe it, and if you don't, they're going to put you in jail. Or worse, like they did here with Rodrigo. They killed them. But they can't kill the truth. Nekane no toka, Tupac, Enrique Acosta, Yautashka, Katoka Nawakali reporting from the Continental Commission, Abya Yala, Wallmapu, the land of the Mapuche, Temuco. It means the tree of water, place of the tree of water. Here in the south, Huitzlampa, we would say, under the stars of the Confederacy of the Condor. Ayo.